Hello, good evening, welcome, good afternoon, good morning and all that kind of stuff. Here we are today, IMTV viewers, in somewhere in Ohio. We can't remember the name, but it's Blossom Hills. I know that much. And we're just north of Akron and a little bit south of Cleveland. Cuyahoga. And it's Cuyahoga, as Johnny's just correctly pointed out, it's Cuyahoga Falls. Or Cuyahoga Falls. We can't quite remember. So it'll be something along those lines. But that's where we are today. We're not going to be talking to the crowd tonight. I'm sorry, Ohio. But we actually have the opportunity to talk to the actual band themselves. They've been so kind to give us a small period of their time to show us a bit around their little places around the backstage area. So let's take a wander down here into the inner depths, or the inner sanctum that is backstage. Very dangerous place, you know. A lot of fireworks, a lot of eddies. It'll clonk you on the head if you don't watch it, I tell you. We'll learn more about that later on. Anyway, come with me. Okay, well, here we are backstage in Adrian Smith Guitar World, and what better person to give us a tour of Adrian Smith Guitar World than the man himself. First of all, before we start talking about the guitars, obviously we haven't had a chance to sort of speak to many of the band about how the tour's gone so far. I mean, can you sort of give us a brief idea of like the trip around the world and how everything's gone in a sort of...
Yeah, it's been fantastic. We're on the American leg now, though. Yeah. I think we're in Ohio now. I think I'll have to look at my itinerary, but I think we're in Ohio. About 2 hours before the show. Yeah. It's been going great. Canadian tour was particularly fun. So we haven't played some of those places for quite a long while, but it was amazing.
Well, also you have family up there as well, so obviously caught up with a few people, I assume?
More friends than family. My family weren't there at this time, but all their friends came, so I had quite a few guests every night. Yeah.
But okay, well, I mean, as I say, the shows have been going fantastic. I mean, obviously the American leg has been a bit more bang for the buck, and there's been a bit more fireworks and explosions going on. I mean, how's that been?
It's great. It's a great show. I mean, there's a lot going on. A lot of fireworks, a lot of stuff happening, really. Yeah. So trouble is I don't get a chance to see it. I can feel the pyros. You can feel the heat from the pyrotechnics.
Well, I was going to say what that must be like. I mean, some of these are quite concussive, kind of, bangs and pops and all sorts of things. I mean, how does that feel?
It's more the flames. You can really feel the flames, like Number of the Beast. You know, if you don't want to get too close to them. So every night before the show, they come in and say, "This is going off at this point in the show. Don't stand here." And after a while, you get used to it. You know.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I said we're in the guitar world, and this is possibly the guitar geek corner of this particular section of the programme. So without giving too many trade secrets away, I mean, obviously I'm a cunning string person myself.
Not bad. It's not bad.
A little bit, but we won't talk about that. But perhaps give us a sort of a brief overview of what you're actually using here.
Okay, we've got Marshall 100-watt head, just pretty much straight in. So have a look at the volume, hang on. Volume's on about 6, just so you know. People accuse me of being too loud. Look, it's only on 6, all right. That's pretty much it, really. A few effects. Got the effects down here. Got a lexicon, a little bit of reverb, bit of chorus for them like little pretty bits we do. But actually, the sound on stage, believe it or not, in a big place like this, is very dry. So we use a little bit of delay on the solos just to give them a bit of life, you know. So that's it, that's a spare. And over here...
Oh, excuse me, I get into a shot there, sorry about that.
We have guitars. I think I've got about, 4 guitars. I use different, like a drop D tuning on some of the songs, so I've got a couple of guitars for that. And my main guitar, which is this one, which I use most of the show, which is a new Jackson, this is a prototype that they made it especially for me, and this one is the one they're going to sell. It's got my name on it. Look.
So this is actually and
I actually use it, so it's a good guitar.
So that's a bit of an exclusive.
Priced. Yeah. No, it's, they're good. They're very, very good working guitars, Jacksons. They're not temperamental, unlike me. They're very, 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 very solid. They stay in tune. I like that.
Well, over the years, I mean, talking guitar buffs, you've used everything from Lardos to Jacksons to what else? Ibanez, Destroyers, yeah.
I've used a lot. I've used everything. I had an SG here somewhere, but I've stopped. I've gone off it. So I go off guitars, you know. I cast them aside, and I have new favourites. This is my new favourite one at the moment. So this one for years was my standard one, but this has fallen out of favour. This is a really nice guitar. I used this for many, many years. I might plug it in one day at a sound check and go, oh, well, that sounds good, and I'll start using it again.
Well, do you find yourself still going into, I mean, probably not, but do you still find yourself sort of going past the odd second-hand guitar store and going, oh, that looks a bit interesting?
Yeah. I was in a junk shop the other day and I bought a 7-string guitar, you know, for like $100. I just picked it up, so yeah. Now and again, you tend to find, when we first came over in the 80s, you could find incredible vintage guitars. And you go into a junk shop and the people wouldn't know what it was, and you could pay a couple of $100 for a good guitar. But now people know what they've got, so it's harder to pick up real bargains, you know.
Well, I know there's your place like Manny's in New York and that kind of. They used to be a good place and to pick stuff up, but now it's all seems to be sort of endorsements and just the standard kind of fare. It's quite hard to find proper vintage stuff unless you go to specialist kind of places down. It costs an arm and a leg. And
like I say, you know, a few years ago you could go to a junk shop or a pawn shop and pick something up really special, but places like you know, the guitar shops in New York, you'd never really get a bargain. Those guys know exactly what the guitar is worth, you know.
It's true. Well, obviously, besides Guitar World, I mean, you have other passions. I mean, when you're not out here rocking and getting yourself burnt to a crisp in front of huge burners, I mean, you're obviously travelling a lot of the time, as we all are, and doing interviews and all that kind of thing. But I mean, what else do you do to try? Do you ever sort of try and escape and get a bit of H time as such?
I should do a bit of cage fighting on my days off. Ultimate fighting, I like. You know, I don't get marked up because I like a bit of fishing actually. I do a bit of fishing. I went down the Chicago River. It's absolutely bustling with people. There's boats up and down, but it's full of fish. It's much cleaner than it used to be. So that's what I do on my days off usually.
Yeah. Well, do you ever find people coming up to you kind of saying, hey, you're that bloke out of Iron Maiden, or do they just come up and say, yeah, any luck today, mate? How does that work?
Where's your licence? Now and again people will come up and come and say something, but pretty much leave you alone, you know.
Okay. You sit there with your big hat on and just...
baseball cap with sunglasses.
Okay, well, I think that's about to do it. I mean, thanks for having a quick chat with us. And obviously, if there's anything you want to say to them, I mean, this is going out to the fans all around the world. Anything you want to sort of say out to everybody? I mean, we're not in Europe yet. Perhaps out to the chaps out there, or...
Well, we're looking forward to coming to Europe. Of course we are, as we've had a great tour so far. It's been one of the best tours I can remember, most fun tours, and can't wait to get to Europe.
Yeah.
So we'll see you then.